What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today, we're here with another Forest of Training video. The brand new one has finally arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, and this is actually the most recent Forest of Training on JP as well. So, at this current point in time, you know, we're fully up to date with all of the Forest of Trainings, which is pretty cool. So in this video, we're looking at the Victoria Punk, which is the kid ship, and this is the team that we're using. Now, this particular team, with V3 lore, I would say that the support characters are very, very important. The only one that you can replace, like, outright is going to be the one attached to Uso Hachi, the Kona's character. She is definitely not required for this team, but all of the other ones are really nice to have. So you can see that we are running the Quick Corazon, not the Legend Dex Corazon, and the reason for it is because earlier on, we're going to be get inflicted with paralysis, and we want to make sure that we're only removing bind. So either a lower leveled Legend Corazon or having this Quick Corazon attached to lore will also get the job done of removing only the bind by 2 turns. And then in partnership with the Halloween Ace attached to Sabo and Kawale, we can remove an additional 3 turns of bind. So 5 turns of bind removal whenever it's first inflicted to us is insane. And then we've also got Koshira attached to Luffy and Zoro, so that when we launch their special, we're able to remove defense up on the enemy, which is very key for one of the stages moving forward. And then we've also got the Shanks, which is going to go ahead and have the support of, what's her face? I can't remember her name. Oh my god, what's her name? The chick from the bar. Makino, that's right. So Makino has a really nice support. This is actually a global exclusive character right now, and you only got her if you pulled Shanks' crew on his debut, and she's really good because whenever we're inflicted with chain lock or blindness, she removes it by 3 turns. So again, very, very key, but not super important. It just means that if you don't have that, you're gonna have to try and hit your perfects, or as many perfects as you can, whilst being blinded, which is not really that fun. And we are using the Megalo ship as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video talking about this team against the Kid Forest. Okay, so jumping into this, we have, first of all, this stage 11. So obviously the first 10 stages are just prepping you ready to go. And then stage 11 is against Apu. Apu has 2.1 million health, and his preemptive attack gives you 1 turn of paralysis and 1 turn of slot bind. So this is why I was suggesting not to use the regular Corazon, or if you are, I think level 3 Corazon just removes bind and despair by 2 turns. So if that is the case, then that would actually work here, because you do not want to, you know, allow that Corazon to proc here. You only want to be removing bind with the support effect a little bit later on, but you can see there, we just go ahead and kill him. But if you don't kill Apu, he just will apply 1 turn of paralysis and then 1 turn of slot bind once again. So yeah, pretty annoying to deal with. Then you got Capone. Capone is here with Vito and Gotti, and with Capone himself, he's got 1.7 million health, and then Vito and Gotti have about 800,000, 850,000, and you can see that they have like a lot of the damage reduction and a lot of threshold, but the threshold isn't too significant. You can hit, you know, around 500,000 damage before the damage is actually reduced. So, you know, with a few big hits, it's not really too tricky to get through this stage, but they do a decent amount of damage. But I would definitely suggest to kill Capone first. He is the main one you want to take down, because after the first turn of attacks, Capone will start blowing away characters, and you definitely don't want that to happen. And then you've got Uroge here on the stage 13, and he has 5.5 million health. And he also does a lot of damage too, and his preemptive, you can see that he cuts your health by a little bit, and he also will have 5 turns of blue shield defense up. So that's why we have Uso Hachi here to remove that. And then obviously we have Sabo and Kawale to give us a huge amount of damage, of course. And you make sure you want to make sure that you kill him before turn 2, because if you don't, he's going to boost his own attack and also deal damage to you. And don't get him below 20% either. That's also going to be very, very bad. Moving on to the next stage though is going to be with Heat and Wire. This is a stage that is, again, this stage just kind of sucks, but for a lot of teams it shouldn't be too bad, as long as you got some decent recovery options, like good switch effects from, like, I don't know, hypothetically, Rebecca and Viola. They give you pretty good healing when you switch. Vivi, Rebecca, Ivankov, Bon Clay for damage reduction. Just as long as you have characters like that, and then you have some sort of way to heal, that's going to be the best case scenario here, because the most annoying thing here is you can see they have the barrier, but then when you reach the stage, you get special binded and you get your special reversed, so you can't really use too many specials in order to get around that. And the thing is after the 3rd turn, if they are both still alive, they'll do different things. So after turn 3, Heat will give you 99 turns of your type slots counted as non-beneficial, and then Wire will actually go ahead and rewind your specials back to the start, so you have to charge all their specials again, which really sucks, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and you can see on this turn here, we do not kill both of them, so both of those effects will activate, but luckily with V3 Law and the Megalo ship, we have enough damage reduction so that we can literally just infinitely stall here, because after turn 3, they don't do anything. One thing to note though is that if you do any type of orb manipulation, they will give you badly matching slots once again, so they really want that to happen. So yeah, just pretty annoying to deal with, but again, as I said, if you've got the right switch effects of dual units, you can stall for a really long time here, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Once you have stalled enough and you can move on to the next stage, it'll be against Killer. Killer has 8 million health, by the way, and he attacks for 18,000 damage. Now, Killer is pretty annoying because when you have his preemptive attack, for the first 2 turns, you can only use 1 special, right? So that's a pretty big debuff that is inflicted to your team. So what we do here is we're going to be using Usohachi to remove his 5 turns of % damage reduction. You also see that you get inflicted with 99 turns of the normal attacks only, which again is not a very nice things to happen. But the thing here is as well is that if he does attack you, he does have the counter active as well. So the counter will do a lot of damage to you. And if you guys don't know, the counter will just be however much damage that you've dealt to him, and he does a percentage of that back to you, which in most cases you're gonna die when you get hit with that counter there. So that's obviously you don't want that to happen. And then the stage after that, stage 16, is against Big Mom. And this is the stage where we have the support effects to get rid of bind. So she's going to bind 2 characters for 8 turns, which with sockets it goes down to 5 turns, which with our support effects it gets completely removed. And you can see we get a full board of block orbs as well. And she does have defense down and delay immunity, but we're going to be going ahead and using the Law special for huge boosts. We have the color affinity from the switch effect of Sabo and Koala, and we can take it down pretty quick. Now the stage after this is very, very dangerous too. It's going to be the Hawkins Page 1 and X-Drake stage. So the thing about it is that you get blinded for 3 turns, which is why we have the Makino support attached to Shanks, so we can remove the blindness. If you don't have that, you will have to try and hit your perfects as good as you can through the blindness. But then we're also using the Luffy Zora special, but make sure to use Law special first, because we want his orb boost and we want his chain lock compared to Luffy and Zora's orb and chain boost. But we use their special, we can remove the defense up with the Koshiro support, which is pretty dope. But of course, even if we didn't have that, we could hit a perfect with Usopp. But the thing there is we want to get as much damage off as possible, and Usopp being a strength unit has a lot of type advantage here, so we want to make sure that he's hitting relatively last on the chain rather than first to remove the defense. So that's why we're using that in that situation there. Now, I went ahead and killed Page 1 and Hawkins first. I would highly suggest make sure you kill Hawkins turn 1. If you do not do that, Hawkins will apply 20 turns of removing your color affinity. So none of your characters will do type advantage or type disadvantage damage, but it's very important that you have type advantage damage. Otherwise, like, the rest of the run is going to be so much more difficult. So I would suggest make sure Hawkins goes down turn 1, and Page 1 after the first turn also will blow away a character, and after turn 2 he will then also blow away a character. If you don't kill X-Drake by the 3rd turn, he's going to instantly kill you, so be careful about that. Make sure he does go down. So you can see lots of different debuffs being inflicted here. Very, very annoying stage. Then we have the King stage, which, talking of annoying stages, all the stages in this Trading Forest are extremely annoying, and this is no slouch either. So with King, the really annoying thing is he has a lot of health. He has 11 million, right? And you can see on turn 1, he's got 3 turns of % damage reduction and 3 turns of damage threshold. Now, every single turn after this preemptive turn, he applies a slot barrier, and he goes through all of the colors. He goes from blue to purple, then to green, then to red, then to yellow. And then after that final slot barrier that is applied, he blows away all of your characters except for your captain. So at that point, you will lose. So essentially, you want to make sure that you kill him before the end of the turn, where it is the size slot barrier. So just make sure you do that. Now, I'm using the treasure map Shanksy, who is very, very good here, because we can use his special ability to do a few different turns of burst damage, because of double special activation, of course. So we can use it, 1 turn to get to remove the barrier, and then we can use the switch effect of Luffy Zoro to get, into Luffy, of course, and the switch effect to switch into Sabo to get color affinity. So we can do lots of turns of burst here. And then once we are ready to move on, we're going to make sure that we have Sabo up and Luffy Zoro up. We use the Sabo special, special, we have the Shanks special, and we'll have a few matching orbs here, and we want to try and get him like as much damage as possible before that final turn, because I actually did do a run prior to this where I didn't do any damage at all, and then on the final turn I just decided to, you know, use just the special of Sabo, and it was not enough damage. So I would highly suggest to make sure that you do enough damage possible if you are using this team. I know that there are various other teams that have gone ahead and beaten this. I know that Snake Man, the brand new super type Snake Man, is the most popular team that I've seen thus far that has been able to clear it, and I definitely think that's going to be the team that most people are going to be using. So obviously if you're using a Snake Man team which has predominantly strength units, this stage is going to be a lot easier, of course, if you have just the ability to get through the barrier first, because not only does he like have that certain slot barrier, but he typically makes that specific slot count as non-beneficial to your team. So that's why Sabo and Koala are pretty good in that circumstance there. So you can, you know, make sure you get those orbs as matching if you do have them. So pretty nice to have. But anyways, I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip, and we'll move on once we get to stage 19.
Okay.
So stage 19 is going to be against Kaido. Kaido has 15 million health, and he also has that really annoying effect where you can only use a certain amount of specials for a limited time. So you can only use 2 specials for 10 turns. So it is ideal to try and, you know, outstall that if you need it. But the really cool thing about Kaido is like he doesn't really do much. He does like a fixed amount of damage every single turn. It looks like a health cut, but no, it is actually like a fixed amount of damage every single turn. And of course, with V3 lore, we have really good damage reduction, we have really good healing, and you do get burnt for 5 turns, like every few turns. So you gotta be careful about that as well. If you hit it perfect, it does a lot of damage. So yeah, if you hit it perfect while you're burnt under this Kaido here, you're likely going to die. So yeah, you have to be very cautious of that. And then obviously when we are leaving this stage, we want to ensure that we have Sabo and Koala special active, and we also want to ensure that when we kill Kaido, we want to have Zora up and we want to have Koala up, so that when we move into the final stage against Kid, who is a Dex character, we can switch into Luffy and into Sabo to get our type advantage against Kid. So that's very vital as well. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with the rest of this, I guess, because there's not really much else to talk about, because the final boss Kid, he doesn't really have much. He just gives you block orbs, he reduces your recovery, and then he has defense down and delay immunity. And that's basically it. After turn 1, he gives you bomb orbs, but, you know, because he gives you a full board of block orbs, it makes it a lot easier, because there's so many characters that can just change block orbs into matching, rather than just generate a full board of orbs. So the fact that Kid does give you a full board of block orbs on the final stage does make it a lot easier, especially for lore, because lore special obviously does that, and it gives you the chain lock, it gives you the orb boost. It's pretty awesome. And then we have the attack boost from Sabo and Koala, and the color affinity from their switch effect. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
頼もしくなったな。